I spent $35,000 on my family's dream trip to Europe, sacrificing everything to give them memories of a lifetime. But at the airport, my sister smirked and said, "I forgot your ticket. Go home." Broken and humiliated, I watched them leave without me. 3 weeks later, when they returned, they expected me to be defeated. Instead, they turned pale as I stood beside a man whose very name could change their destiny forever. Olivia Bennett tightened her grip on the folder of tickets, her heart swelling with both pride and exhaustion. She had spent the last 2 years saving every spare dollar, sacrificing vacations, skipping meals, and working overtime shifts. Every coffee she didn't buy, every invitation she turned down, every late night at her desk. It had all been for this, Ete's $35,000 family trip to Europe. Her parents, Edward and Lillian, looked thrilled, already chatting about castles and museums, while her younger sister, Vanessa, radiated her usual smug confidence. Olivia thought this trip would finally heal their fractured bonds, that maybe, for once, her family would see her, not as the quiet one, not as the workhorse, but as the daughter who made their dreams possible. At the bustling airport terminal, Olivia carefully unzipped the folder and began handing out passports and tickets. One for her father, who snatched it without so much as a thank you. One for her mother, who smiled faintly, distracted by her phone. One for Vanessa, who took hers with a flick of her manicured nails. When Olivia reached back in for her own, her stomach lurched. The slot where her ticket should have been was empty. Her fingers searched frantically. She checked again, even shook the folder upside down, but nothing fell out. Vanessa's lips curved into a knowing smirk. "Oh no, Liv. Looks like someone forgot their ticket. What a shame. Guess you'll have to go home." Olivia blinked, stunned. "What? That's not possible. I checked them twice." "I had all 4. Vanessa leaned closer, her whisper venomous. "You always wanted to play the hero, footing the bill for everyone. Well, heroes don't get to join the story. Go home, Olivia. You're not part of this chapter." Her breath caught in her throat. You took it, didn't you?" Vanessa's eyes glittered with cruel delight, but she only shrugged, feigning innocence. Olivia turned desperately to her parents. "Mom, Dad, you know I wouldn't forget my own ticket. Please, check with her. Tell her to give it back." Lillian shifted uncomfortably, adjusting the strap of her designer bag. Edward's jaw tightened as he muttered under his breath, "Let's not cause a scene. We'll miss the flight." And just like that, without another glance, they walked away. Olivia's chest caved in as she watched their retreating figures disappear through the security gate, the sound of their laughter echoing faintly against the polished airport walls. The folder slipped from her hands, scattering empty papers across the floor. Strangers glanced at her with pity, some even pausing as if to help. But their sympathetic looks cut deeper than the betrayal itself. Her legs felt rooted to the floor. She had spent 2 years building this gift, only to be discarded in seconds like she was nothing. The humiliation burned hotter than tears. She could almost hear Vanessa's mocking voice. "You'll never belong." Olivia finally gathered her things and stumbled back home, the silence of the empty house pressing down like a weight. Every room seemed colder, emptier, as though the walls themselves had witnessed her humiliation. She curled up on the couch, shaking, tears streaming freely now that no one could see. But beneath the grief, something else stirred, a fire that Vanessa hadn't counted on. Because while Vanessa schemed to humiliate her, Olivia had been working on something far greater than a vacation. Just weeks before, she had met someone, a man whose power stretched far beyond their family's shallow grasp of status and wealth. A man who saw her not as invisible, but as invaluable. Vanessa thought she had won. She thought Olivia would stay broken, small, forgotten. But Olivia was done being silent, and when her family returned, she would make sure they never forgot who she truly was. 3 weeks later, the Bennett family strolled through the airport arrivals hall, their designer luggage rolling behind them. Sunburned, smug, and chattering about vineyards in Italy and gondola rides in Venice. They looked every bit the picture of privilege, but Olivia was already there, waiting. She stood tall near the glass doors, dressed in a sleek navy suit that sharpened her features. Her hair pulled back neatly. She looked nothing like the broken woman they had abandoned. Her chin was lifted, her eyes steady, her presence commanding. Vanessa spotted her first. Her smirk bloomed instantly. Well, well, look who survived 3 weeks alone. Poor Liv, stuck at home while we lived the dream. Edward chuckled, setting down his suitcase with a thud. You should have been more careful with your ticket. Maybe next time, eh? Lillian added with a sigh. Don't dwell on it, Olivia. You've always been forgetful. Their laughter rose between them, a cruel and dismissive. But then Olivia moved slightly to the side, and the crowd shifted to reveal the figure standing beside her. Tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in an immaculate charcoal suit that fit like it had been tailored by the gods themselves. His silver hair gleamed under the fluorescent airport lights, and his calm, steely gaze cut straight through the Bennetts like glass. The family's laughter died instantly. Vanessa's face drained of color. Edward's hand trembled against the handle of his suitcase. Lillian gasped and clutched her pearls as though warding off a ghost. Oh my God, Edward whispered hoarsely. It's him. The man extended his hand, not to Edward, not to Lillian, not even to Vanessa, but toward Olivia. Shall we? He said, his tone smooth yet dangerous, as though the entire world already knew who he was. Olivia accepted his hand with a poised smile. Of course, Mr. Caldwell. Richard Caldwell. The name alone was enough to send ripples through boardrooms, to silence politicians mid-sentence. One of the wealthiest and most powerful investors in the country. He was a man whose signature could make or break empires. Years ago, Edward Bennett had tried to cheat him in a shady business deal, and failed. The fallout had been quiet, but devastating, leaving the Bennett name blacklisted in elite circles. And now, here he was, beside Olivia. Edward's voice cracked, panic clawing through his chest. What? What is he doing with you? Olivia's eyes glittered, her voice carrying the steel of 3 weeks' worth of resolve. When you left me behind, I didn't go home to sulk. I went to work. Mr. Caldwell and I finalized a partnership, one worth far more than the $35,000 I spent on you. While you were sipping wine in Paris, I was building something real. Caldwell's lips curved in the faintest smile. Your daughter has vision, integrity, and strength, qualities I rarely find. She will be my protégé. As for the rest of you, his gaze swept coldly over Edward, Lillian, and Vanessa. Consider every door you once hoped to open, now permanently locked. Gasps erupted from nearby travelers as whispers spread. People recognized Caldwell. Some even raised phones to snap photos. The Bennetts, once eager to flaunt their image, now stood exposed in the harshest spotlight imaginable. Vanessa's smirk twisted into desperation. You can't do this. You can't side with her. She's nothing without us. Olivia stepped closer, her eyes level with her sister's. For years, I sacrificed everything for you. I gave you my money, my time, my love. And when I finally wanted to share something with my family, you shoved me aside like garbage. That was the last time. I'm not your shadow anymore. Edward stumbled forward, sweat beading at his temple. Olivia, please. We're family. We made mistakes, but she cut him off, her tone colder than ice. Family doesn't abandon you at the gate. Family doesn't laugh while you're humiliated. You made your choice that day, and now. I've made mine. Caldwell placed a steady hand on her shoulder. Well said. The Bennets looked broken. Vanessa's arrogance shattered into silence. Edward's shoulders slumped, his defeat visible in every line of his body. Lillian's tears blurred her vision, but no words came. Olivia didn't wait for them to recover. She turned, walking toward the sliding airport doors, her heels striking the floor with sharp finality. Caldwell walked at her side, their combined presence a storm the Bennets couldn't weather. As the night air rushed in to greet her, Olivia breathed deeply, each inhale lighter than the last. This wasn't just revenge. This was liberation. And it was only the beginning.